Hello everyone. Today we will be learning about Security and Exchange Board of India. This is the last topic of this chapter, financial market. We will be learning about the objectives, functions, role, and also the structure of SEBI, how does it operate. But before learning about the details, about SEBI, we have to understand how this SEBI came into existence and why there was need fed for establishment of SEBI. So we move back to the period of 1980s when it was observed that during that phase there was a tremendous growth in the security market because there was so many investors who were investing and there was wide participation of public in the stock markets. With the tremendous growth and developments of the stock markets taking place during that phase, it was also observed that so many malpractices that was occurring in the stock market, and there was no proper, you may say, any law or legislation which could curb or you may say control those illegal practices, trading practices which were happening in the stock market. And if there was no proper legislation for it, the grievances which occurred, that was not properly addressed, and that affected the mind of the investors and their confidence to a great extent, that was shaken, and that was a cause of concern. That is why the government of India decided to establish Security and Exchange Board of India. And this Security and Exchange Board of India, it was established by the government of India under the control of the Ministry of Finance as an interim body, and later on it was made a statutory body and replaced with an act of parliament in the name of SEBI. So we'll be learning about its detail, but this body, this was basically established in order to provide proper protection to the investors and also to promote, regulate and develop the stock market, or you may say the financial market, in a proper manner. So let us start with the concept of SEBI. So I already told you that SEBI, it was established by the government of India on April 12, 1988. But initially it was established as an interim body. And it had the administrative control in the hands of Ministry of Finance, Government of India. So administrative control, that was in the hands of the finance department, and the government of India was looking after this. So it was acting as an interim body at that time in 1988 when the decision was taken to establish SEBI. Its purpose was basically investor protection and also seeing that there is orderly and healthy growth of stock market or security market. It got statutory status by an ordinance which was passed on 30th January 1992. So two dates are very important. It was established, when was it established? It was established on April 12, 1988. But through an ordinance on 30th January 1992, it was given a statutory status. Very important. And this ordinance later, it was replaced by an act in Parliament which was known as SEBI 1992. So this is the entire history through which we can understand how this SCBI came into existence and for what purpose. Now, when we talk about the purpose and role of SCBI, we have already learned, because there was so many, you may say, illegal trading malpractices in the security market, and that is why there was need to provide conducive environment to fulfill the needs of three groups which were considered the pillars of the market. Those three groups were issuers of the securities, which are the companies. The second group was investors, and the third group was intermediaries. We have already learned that the primary purpose was providing protection to the investors, and there was need for seeing that the market developed in a proper and efficient manner, in a transparent manner. So for the issuers, we could see that SCBI provided the marketplace to raise finance in an easy, fair and efficient manner. Because the issuers, they want to raise funds from the security market. So SCBI, it provided a platform for the issuers so that they could raise funds whenever they required in easy, fair and efficient manner. So they provided a marketplace in the form of orderly development of the security market in a fair manner. For the investors, we could see that once the securities markets were under the control of the Ministry of Finance of Government of India, the investors, the earlier fear which they had or related with the safety of their transactions to a great extent, that was removed, and we could see that it helped in promoting and safeguarding the rights and interests of the investors by providing adequate, accurate and authentic information and disclosure of information on continuous basis. So stock markets, there has been a system through which we can see that the investors, they get ready information available, and that information they can utilize for cracking the deals, and that is very useful because it discloses everything, what all operations are taking place in the market in a fair and transparent manner. So they find their investments safe and secure in this manner. For the intermediaries, the SCBI promoted the development of competitive and professional market with adequate infrastructure for offering better services to issuers and investors, because marketing intermediaries, they act as, you may say, the connecting link between the investors and the market. So if they are provided competitive and professional market, which was provided by SCBI with proper infrastructure, it helps the marketing intermediaries also to offer services in a much better manner to the issuers and the investors. And in this way, we could see that the entire operation of the market, that was properly carried out once this regulatory body that was established by the government of India. Now we will be learning about the objectives of SCBI. So if you remember the purpose and the role, it becomes easy to memorize the objectives also. The first objective is to protect the rights and interests of the investors and guide and educate them, because all the information that is provided to them, and in this way we see that their rights and interested an interest that is protected, and the trust of the investors that also increases if such a system is developed in the market. Second, it regulates and develops code of conduct and fair trading practices by the intermediaries with the view to making them competitive and professional. So we have already learned, for the intermediaries it develops a competitive and professional market, wherein we see that adequate infrastructure, that is facilities that is provided to the marketing intermediaries, and in this way we see that proper code of conduct for the marketing intermediaries that is provided by SCBI, and that makes the market more competitive and more professional. Third, it prevents trading malpractices and creates balance between self-regulation and statutory regulation. Very, very important. All the trading malpractices which earlier were seen happening in the security market, to a great extent, effort was made to curb those illegal trading practices and create balance between self-regulation and statutory regulation. The third objective. The fourth is to regulate the stock exchanges and securities industries for their proper understanding. So if the proper platform is provided, the working of the stock exchanges, that is properly controlled by SCBI, because time and again by the guidelines of Security and Exchange Board of India and the instructions, the stock market operates and carries out its functions smoothly, and in this way we see that the efficient operation of the security market has started because of the establishment of Security and Exchange Board of India. Now the other, this is very, very important, functions of SCBI. From this part many times question is asked. So we have to understand that SCBI performs three different types of functions. One is protective function, another is developmental function, and third is the regulatory function. This is the most important part which is asked in the exams. So any type of function may be asked. It may be protective, it may be developmental, and it may be regulative, or general question, long answer question related with the functions of SCBI that may be asked in the exams. So memorize the points, because this is one aspect wherein we see that the points, they have to be properly understood and also memorized. They have to be crammed to a great extent. So when we talk about the protective functions, we see that how SCBI protects, whom it protects, that we are going to learn. So SCBI prohibits fraudulent and unfair trading practices in the security market. In this way it provides protection. Whatever unfair trading practices that was earlier taking in the security market, to a great extent it tries to check, it tries to control, it tries to prohibit those trading practices. Not only it prohibits, but it also promotes fair practices and code of conduct in the security market that is established by SCBI, so that all the operations, they can be carried out as per the code of conduct that has been framed, and there can be efficient functioning of the market. Third, it undertakes steps for investors' protection. The investors, for their safe investments, we have already seen that it tries to protect the rights and interests of the investors, guides them from time to time, educates them, also tries to develop the market for their safe investments and regulate the unfair trading practices, as we see that provides them time to time all the information, that is disclosure of all the information, so that they can properly and orderly invest their securities safely. Fourth point, it controls insider trading. This is very, very important concept. How does it, SEBI, provide protective function? Insider trading means that kind of trading which is carried in the security market secretly on the basis of unpublished information. Because we have seen all the information that has to be first of all published, listed in the security market, then only the trading can take place by disclosing all the information. If any information is hidden, that is kept secret, it will affect the prices of the securities, which should not be done. So it also tries to control insider trading, which earlier was observed in the security market to a great extent. And this insider trading can be done by the promoters, can be done by the directors, and it may affect the pricing of the securities. So it has to be stopped, so that the prices, they can be determined on the basis of the market forces safely and properly. So by controlling insider trading and imposing penalties for such malpractices to a great extent, we see that the pricing of the securities, that is done in a fair manner. So in this way, it provides protection to the market. Second is developmental functions. So not only it provides protection, but it also tries to develop the market properly for safe investments, so that there can be orderly growth of the market. This is only possible when the market will function properly. So for this, first thing which it does is it ensures training of the intermediaries of the security market. Those who are the intermediaries, they are trained properly so that they can operate as per the rules and regulations of the stock market and carry out the operations as per the guidelines of SEBI. Second, it conducts research and publish information useful to all the market participants, so that the market participants, they are well informed, and if they are well informed, they can understand properly the market and its operations and take decisions accordingly, so that they can find their investments safe, and also they can place and exchange their securities, keeping in mind the developments which is taking place in the stock market. Third, it facilitates flexibility in the working of the capital market. So we see that in order to develop the market, changes that is to be adapted, so it allows to a great extent it has the flexible approach, so that the working of the capital market, that can adapt to the changing situations and help those who are the, you may say, pillars involved in trading practices in the security market. Third is the regulatory function. How does it regulate the market? First of all, regulation can only be done if there are certain rules and regulations which is made, and it has to be properly followed. For this, registration and regulation of brokers, sub-brokers and other players of the market has been made mandatory. First of all, so all those who are the market participants, they have to be registered. Then there is need for registration of collective investment schemes and mutual funds. That also has to be registered, so that if there is proper registration of collective investment schemes and mutual funds, there are less chances of forgery or conflict which may take place at the later stage. Then conducting inquiries and audit of stock exchanges and intermediaries to see whether it is being properly following the rules and regulations and carrying out its operations or not. So time and again inquiries and audit that is carried out of the stock exchange and the various intermediaries. And fourth, regulation of portfolio exchange, merchant bankers, underwriters, and dealings in the stock exchange that has also been imposed, and regulation of takeover bids by the companies to a great extent. So these are the 5, you may say, regulatory functions which has been made mandatory through SEBI so that the market can function smoothly. Now last topic, that is the organization structure of SEBI. How, because SEBI is a body, that is an organization, so how does it function? Let us see the structure. We see that the various activities of the SEBI, that is divided into 5 operational departments. Each department is headed by executive director. So it has 5 operational departments and each department is headed by executive director. The head office of SEBI is located in Mumbai. Apart from the head office, it also has regional offices which has been set up in all the metros, that means Delhi, Chennai and Kolkata. In Mumbai it has its head office. Regional offices are in Delhi, Chennai and Kolkata, and these regional offices, they have been set up to listen to the complaints and liaison so that the operations may take place smoothly. Then SEBI has also formed Primary Market Advisory Committee and Secondary Market Advisory Committee to assist in policy formulation of SEBI. So primary and secondary market advisory committees, it assists the SEBI in policy formulation. Time and again, new policies may be formulated for the betterment of the market. So primary and secondary market advisory committee helps, but SEBI is not bound to accept their advice, whatever advice they are giving. They can assist, they can advise, and if SEBI feels, it can accept their advice and suggestions, otherwise it can work on its own manner. There are also 2 committees. These 2 committees, which are in the form of primary market and secondary market advisory committees, they consist of market players, investors association recognized by SEBI, and eminent persons in the capital market. They comprise the committee members of primary and the secondary market, and in this way we see that the SEBI functions and carries out its duties properly to regulate and control the operations in a free, fair, transparent and competitive manner. With this, we have completed this chapter, the financial market. We have learned in detail each and every topic, and from this part, the objectives and the functions, this is very, very important. It may be asked in exams, so prepare properly. So today we end with this topic, and next we will be starting the new chapter, and that is marketing. Till then, thank you all of you.